So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, centuries-old idea about personal transformation. We're talking about the journey into what's known as the dark night of the soul. Now, this is a path of some pretty intense interchange, and honestly, it's relevant for pretty much anyone trying to break a habit or just find a deeper sense of purpose. And it all kicks off with one single powerful feeling.
All right, so our whole journey starts with this beautiful, kind of poetic, and yeah, a little mysterious phrase from the source text. This right here, this is the engine that drives the entire spiritual path, fired with love's urgent longings. I mean, it sounds intense, doesn't it?
And that's the big question, right? What does this actually mean? Because this isn't just pretty poetry, it's a very precise psychological and, spiritual instruction. So let's get into what it truly means to be fired with this kind of love.
So, this phrase, love's urgent longings, it's describing a very specific kind of internal motivation, a desire so powerful it can literally reshape a person from the inside out. It's the real catalyst for change, but here's the thing, it's born from a really deep inner conflict.
You see, before any of that transformation can happen, the source text tells us there's a struggle. And we're not talking about external stuff. This is a battle that happens entirely within yourself. It's a conflict between two fundamental competing forces.
And the way the text frames this inner conflict is, well, it's basically a tale of two loves. It's this huge struggle between two very different kinds of desires, and each one is pulling your soul in the completely opposite direction.
Okay, so this slide really breaks it down for us. On one side, you've got what are called sensory appetites, our natural pull towards pleasure, comfort, and all those worldly attachments. The text even calls this the yoke of nature. But then on the other side, there's this higher calling, the love of the soul's bridegroom. Now, in this context, the bridegroom is really an allegory for a divine or spiritual connection, a better, more intense love that actually requires you to deny those other sensory pleasures.
And look, the source text does not downplay the power of our worldly desires at all. It describes their pull as cravings, a force that's just deeply ingrained in our very nature.
Which, brings us to the core problem here. If our sensory appetites are so strong, so natural, how can anyone possibly break free from them? It really seems like an impossible fight, but the text offers a very specific solution.
And this is where we get to the real turning point. The solution isn't about fighting with brute force or just willpower alone. It's all about conquering one love with another, even more powerful love.
Right, so this is the crucial point. This journey isn't about gritting your teeth and just trying to suppress your natural desires. It's about finding and nurturing a desire that is so much stronger, so much more compelling, that those lesser desires, they just lose their power in comparison. It's a total replacement. So the process seems to unfold in about 3 steps. First, you've got the pull of nature, right? Your sensory appetites are just naturally drawing you toward pleasure. Step 2 is what's called the enkindling. A new fire is lit, this more urgent, spiritual love. And then, step 3, the vanquishing. This new fire becomes so strong that it just vanquishes the old one, giving your soul the strength to finally say no to all those other attachments.
And this quote, wow, it really underscores why that enkindling is absolutely essential. The author is crystal clear here. Without being fired by this greater love, you cannot overcome the yoke of nature. It is the non-negotiable ticket to the next stage of the whole journey.
But here's the twist. All of this work, overcoming your most basic attachments and desires, that's not the destination. It's just the beginning. It's what gets you to the front door of the real journey.
And that next step is the dark night. This is where the journey truly deepens.
So, what is this night of sense? Well, according to the text, it's a state you enter after you've gotten strong enough to deny your sensory appetites. It's an active choice to step into a kind of darkness, a void, where all the usual comforts and attachments are just gone.
And the author gives us a bit of a warning here. They note that the trials of this stage might seem easy from the outside, but they are deeply, profoundly challenging in a way that's really hard to put into words.
Which brings us to this really profound point the author makes. Some things are just beyond words. Trying to explain the depths of this experience is almost impossible. It's something that has to be lived, has to be experienced, and meditated on directly.
And so that leaves us right here with this one final lingering question. If conquering our deepest attachments is just the beginning, what trials,
What kind of transformations truly await us in that darkness? The text suggests the only way to find out is to enter it yourself.